Hi. Hello. Hola. Okay. Yeah, well, I would if I'm wearing green. Hey, Sharon. Okay, so good evening and welcome to the Becky Brown Girl Show. I'm your host, Becky Brown Girl. I know I haven't seen y'all in a minute. Um, you know, things been happening these last few weeks, right? I just couldn't bear to bring myself here on November 6th. And then I was sick last week, but I'm here. So happy to see y'all. Well, not see you, but I'm happy you're able to join me. So, I've had my fill of politics. I don't want to touch it. So I thought we would talk about forgiveness, right? So at some point in our lives, right, we've done somebody wrong. And hopefully we have the ability to apologize and also to accept someone else's apology. But tonight I want to talk about forgiveness, how it benefits you as the person who was wronged. Obviously, it benefits the person who did the wrong if they apologize and you accept it. But also want to talk about holding grudges because I know, hey mom, I know some of y'all out there like to hold grudges, and I don't know. I kind of think that's an unhealthy habit, but maybe y'all can change my mind. And then I want to talk about like in any instances where you feel like you could never forgive someone. So, well, there's a couple reasons why I wanted to talk about it, but I actually just saw earlier that Dame Dash, I guess the Rockefeller auction happened, and so his share of the Rockefeller label was, I don't even know the amount it was sold for, but it was like way under, I think, what they originally valued it at. And he just kind of screwed himself out of whatever money he would have been able to get from it when, Jay offered money to him before, and holding grudges and, still talking about this decades later. And, so kind of to the point about holding grudges, I think, that's kind of apropos to this conversation. Also, somebody that I'm going to bring on shortly, Sharon Miller, had made a post earlier that was related to the topic of forgiveness and letting go of, past hurts and like getting over your ego, like not allowing friendships and relationships to just kind of go away, especially if you felt like they were worthwhile over petty disagreement. So I'm going to let her elaborate on that a little bit more. And if anyone wants to feel free, anyone else wants to join and share their thoughts on forgiveness, grudge holding, any scenarios where you could never forgive someone, you're welcome to join us as well. So, and we're also going to talk about like apologizing. Allegedly, women don't like to apologize. Allegedly, that's what the fellas have said that have been on here before. So, you think so, huh, Sean? So maybe you might join later and explain why you think that forgiveness is a challenge. But anyway, so with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and add Sharon. And like I said, if anyone else wants to join, feel free. Just send me a request and I will add you. What's going on? How's life treating you? Let me see who else is on here. I know. Hey, Shanice. Are you there, Miss Lady? I just sent you a request. Hopefully you can still join me. Oh, and the other good news is because the last time I was on here, y'all saw me get a little bit turned up. Anyone who was on here a couple weeks back. But now I know how to get rid of people, when they want to show their ass. So if any of you want to get on here with me and act a fool, I know how to get rid of your ass. Okay. So I'm adding Sharon now. Or not. Sharon, you're killing me. Um, okay, so does anyone else have thoughts on forgiveness besides Sean and or anyone who tends to hold grudges? Anyone? Like I said, I think, it's characteristic of my sign. I know y'all don't like people talking about their zodiacs, and I'm not saying I'm ruled by that. However, I am a fire sign. My temper's hot. It's short. But I might like go off, but I'll be over it quickly. Like I release that frustration and that aggression. Um, but sometimes that requires me to have to turn around and apologize to whoever was on the receiving end of it because maybe it was OD. But meanwhile, I'm over it. And that person on the other end might feel like, you know, they might feel a way about that. Okay, I'm gonna add Sharon first, medicine, whoever you are, because I don't know. Hi.
Hi. Let me fix my
Shift,
camera. Okay, so why am I
shift
upside down?
your perspective.
I'm not right. Why is my camera? Hold on 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, is that
Perfect.
that's better.
Hi. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
So, wait, hold on. Let me turn up my volume here because you sound low. Okay, say hi to the people. This is Sharon. Holly
Hi,
Camilla.
people.
So, Sharon, I don't know if you confirmed if I can share your IG or not. I
You can
mean, it can.
absolutely you can share my IG.
Okay.
You share,
I was about to
you
say, I mean, it can
I
see it on
gave you
here
a
anyway.
little. I gave you a little
You
bio
did, you did, of
about me.
course.
So share that as well.
I'm
Any,
gonna have to go off top. But
anything you want to
okay, so
know, anything you want to ask or you want to know, I'm an open book.
excellent. Okay, so welcome Sharon. Sharon is a wife and a mother. She said she got married later in life. It was her first one and only marriage, happily married. Um, and you've been married for 7 years?
It'll be
8.
10 years
Oh,
coming
I'm sorry.
this April. It'll be 10.
Okay.
And we got
Yay.
married, both of us were in our mid-40s.
I love that for you. You give me hope. So, and she has a lovely daughter. Is she's your only child?
She's my only child.
Okay.
She's 29. She'll be
Okay.
30 in June. So
Okay.
when I first met my husband, she was 13. She was in middle school.
Oh wow.
My husband
Okay.
doesn't have any children.
Okay.
I'm from Baltimore. He's from Chicago. He
Okay.
didn't have any children. Like I said, she was 13 when we met.
Mhm.
So since then, he's taken her on as his daughter.
I love that. Okay. Well, good job. So, I wanted to bring you on because, well, first of all, I appreciate you supporting because I know that, I see you in the comments sometimes. I feel like I'm sinking in the stool, so don't mind me. I might need to readjust myself,
I
but
want to say you look beautiful, by the way.
oh, thank you. You too.
You are just so gorgeous.
You're so
That
sweet.
chocolate, beautiful, natural hair. You the bomb.com, baby. Okay. So
Oh,
can I give you your flowers right now? You are
so
absolutely fucking gorgeous, and I'm so proud of you.
you'll make me cry on here.
And I mean that. Hey, you know me, so you know I mean that from my heart.
No,
You know.
I know. I appreciate that. I mean, seriously, thank you. Thank you so much. But we're not talking about me. We talking about you, beautiful lady. Um, so I wanted to talk about the post you made earlier. I gotta fix this seat. So I'm gonna talk to you and I'm gonna fix my seat. But if you want to elaborate on the post, kind of maybe what prompted you to make the post. She made it on Facebook. I'll let you take it away while I fix my situation over here because it's related to this topic. Go ahead.
What was the post though? Because I,
Ah, it was the one that you made about letting go of, old relationships. Not sorry, not old relationships. Letting go of old like grudges or like um situations where there might have been miscommunication that caused a breakdown of a relationship or a friendship, like you mentioned, and particularly amongst women, that like petty disagreements can sometimes make relationships fall apart, and that if you've been the cause of that at all, that that you're an open book, you're open to communicating with those people and repairing those situations if it's worthwhile. So that's you taking accountability, that's you taking responsibility for whatever you may have done, or being open to whatever somebody may have done to you, and allowing it to you know let go of that. So
okay, okay, I got you now.
okay.
So what prompted me to share that was a couple of things,
Hmm.
Lord, and I'm such a Stacy. I'm such a crybaby. Um, so I'm hoping this doesn't evoke tears when I say this.
That's
But
okay.
so here's the thing with me,
Hmm.
okay? And I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
I
I'm
love it.
sorry. I'm a Sagittarius, right? I'm
Hmm.
gonna keep it a buck. So everybody be like strong woo woo woo, boom boom boom. Somebody don't fuck with me. Can I cuss on here? I don't know. Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So people be like, somebody don't rock with me. I don't rock with them. Woo woo.
Yep.
They don't fuck with me. Whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
Or, I'm gonna even take it into the professional realm.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
I've always been the type of person, like, even if you're looking for a job and they don't choose you, right?
Hmm.
For
Hmm.
whatever reason. I've always wanted, even in, whether it be friendships or relationships, right?
Hmm.
Dude might not be feeling you for whatever reason. Woo, woo, woo.
Hmm.
A job might not have selected you when you put in your resume or when you interview with them. Me, me as a person, I've always wanted to understand what, why, what was it that I did? Do.
Okay.
I just like the little hanging mysterious branch of why didn't they rock with me? I
Right.
think I'm great. I think I'm
Right.
whatever. You Can they share with me why they didn't rock with me so I can work on that and be better for the next time around?
Right.
So that stems into that's my mentality and how I am as a person.
Hmm.
I'm just not good with someone dropping me, whether it be a man or a friend, hot potato, and I don't know fucking why.
Right.
At least give me the understanding of what did I do to offend you?
Right.
Because give me the opportunity to explain to you where my head may have been during that time when you felt like whatever.
Right.
Don't just drop me and then I'm like not knowing.
Right.
Because the way my mind is set up, I feel like I'm a great person and I'm a loving
Hmm.
person. Like, you know, I'm not the type of person that it just accepts every Tom and Jerry into my life. So if I to my circle, I love you and I care about you.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? So if you just drop me, it really hurts me to know if you ghost me.
I got you.
So that's my whole thing, right?
Hmm.
So what prompted me today was I have a best friend that I've had since high school. I went to an all-girl high school.
Me too.
And you did too?
Although I live in Philly. I mean, not live, but I'm from Philly. But yeah, I did.
You
Yeah,
went to an all-girl school in Philly?
I
Okay.
did. Mount St. Joseph
I need
Academy.
to know what it was or whatever. But you know enough about Maryland, where Western is the oldest all-girls school in the whatever the case may
Yep.
be. So I have a best friend that I've been friends with since high school. Now, mind you, I'm 50. I'll be 52 in December next month.
Okay.
Less than a month, and we've been friends since high school, and we're best friends, right? And we're so close. We're like sisters, and we had a disagreement, right? And we got over the disagreement,
As you should.
But what prompted the post that you brought up today was, even though we got over the disagreement, today was the first time that we actually talked about it.
Okay.
And what it was, if I can be fully in disclosure.
It's totally up to you what you want to share and how, specific and personal you want to get. Because I don't know if if you're going to say who the person is, or if they're watching, or if they're going to feel some type of way. You talking about it? I'm going to leave that up to you.
Okay. She would be fine with it either way. So, and I think that a lot of women who are listening could relate to this. Keep in mind, I just told y'all I'm going to be 52 December 11th. I'm a Sagittarius. And we say it like we feel.
Oh, listen, I already know. Some of my best friends are Sagittarius. So, yes, I know.
Honor.
Yes, yes, that's my buddy. Yeah.
Exactly. So, here we go. So we're cool now. We talking, we vibing or whatever. And her and I like to, when we really have to talk, we talk on FaceTime. Because normally I'm a text person. Don't call me. I'm not an auditory text me. But when you have something to say and we have something to really seriously talk about, I'm perfectly fine with FaceTime, right? So we're talking today. We're having our normal conversation. And then somehow it come up like the last time we weren't speaking and why we weren't speaking or whatever. And it was because, and women, I know y'all can relate to this. She had started dating a guy from the past who did her wrong. And this is 10 years later. She's like, he's changed. He's a great guy. And I'm her best friend. And I'm trying to be in love and support of her and not causing any type of strife between her. And she's reconnecting with this guy she dated 10 years ago, who I feel like red flag. But I'm trying to be a friend and be supportive of my friend. So, long story short, she reconnected out. When she told me she reconnected with him, although I felt like, I just held it and zip it, I ain't say nothing. Because you know how sometimes we can say something. And
then you sound like a hater. Yeah.
They will do anyway. And then it could cause a unbenefit situation between you and your friends. So I just zipped it up, say nothing.
Yep.
So within a couple of months, I'll say, shit fell flat. Just like I knew she should have never reconnected one in the beginning. And today we had an honest conversation, and I told her, I said, I didn't want to tell you this at the time, as your friend,
right?
Because I was trying to be supportive of you and your everything you thought that was gonna happen. Right. And she was like, I said, but inside I was like, fuck no, So she was like, I don't like that. She said, as my friend, you should tell me how you really feel. I don't want you walking around eggshells with me when it comes to how you really feel. And she said, and so what I told her was, I said, but I didn't, at the time, even though I felt that way, I'm basing it on 10 years ago when you dealt with him. Right. I said, I don't know how he may have changed now. So I really have nothing to base it on right now. Right now. So to come to you with, concrete. And that's how I was feeling. But she said, I understand, Sharon, but still, you should have said blah, 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 blah. And that's what I was challenged with. I was like, I said, listen, I don't want to become unbenefited with a friend that I've had over 30 years
Right.
over some, and that's why I become in conflict with. And this today, this is the thing, and we're going to talk about this, and I want to hear your people who are listening.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, oh, you could have just said that, blah, blah, blah. She's saying
Would
that now.
you?
She's saying that now, knowing what the fuck happened. But
Right, right.
would she have received that in a positive way if I would have told her, I don't think you should fuck with him again?
No, no. I mean, listen, knowing, like, I feel like generally in matters of the heart, unless somebody is like getting their ass beat and shit, sometimes even then, people are blind. They're blinded to a situation. Like, you can talk to you till you're blue in the face, but like you said, they're not always going to receive it, or they're going to think that you're hating on, their happiness, or however they're going to take it. But it's usually not in a good way. Um, Not when they feel like things are working, right? So like you said, after in hindsight, of course, she could receive it. But I mean, did she understand why you felt like you couldn't say anything before? Like, was she upset with you that you didn't say anything?
We
Or
talked
I'm
we
sorry, go
talked
ahead.
about that because I told her, and we really had a good conversation. And like I said, this is what prompted my post today,
Mm-hmm.
because we really had a good, open conversation about
Right.
it. And she was like, I don't want anybody that's my friend to feel that way, like they got to walk on eggshells about me, and they can't say how they really feel.
Right.
So, as an example, I gave her a situation where in her previous relationship, one of her best friends shared how they felt about a particular guy she was seeing,
Mm-hmm.
and how I saw the demise of that friendship. And I let her know, I said, I didn't want that to happen between us.
Right.
And then she shared some details on which that friend came to her in a different type of way, and how she
Okay.
received that. And I could say, okay, I could see how that was wrong. But at the end of the day, I was telling her, because she was trying to tell me, she was like, and then to your viewers, okay, as a Sagittarian, let me say and admit, Stacey, what's your sign?
Oh, I'm a fire sign too. I'm an Aries. Wait, I can't hear you. I don't know if you're getting. I can't. I can't hear you. Are you getting a call or something? Can't hear you.
Can you hear
Okay.
me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Because my battery's low. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you can hear me now?
Yep.
It was telling me my battery was low.
Okay.
So, okay. So, you're a fire sign too. What's your fire sign? What's your
I'm an
sign? Aries.
Aries.
Okay. So, damn, I forgot my train
You
of thought. So,
you were
what she was telling me was this, and this is what I even told you offline. She was like, "Well, so this particular friend, like, I'm walking on eggshells with her now because I really, really dearly love her. We've been friends since, like I told you, I'm gonna be 52 on my birthday. We were friends since high school, and
mm-hmm.
so I realized the value in our friendship, and I never want to disrupt that. And that's why sometimes, like, when it comes to her relationships, I kind of tiptoe.
Yeah.
So, damn, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh my God.
I think you were talking about how, and I might be wrong, but how the other friend had approached her about something that I guess she observed and thought was going to be problematic for the girl, and maybe she didn't receive it well, and then it caused the end of that friendship, and then you just said it was the way that she had said it.
You,
I mean, I
yeah.
think
So from that is why I kind of zipped my lips when she
Mm-hmm.
reunited with this guy who I knew was no good for
Right.
her, because I didn't want to cause any type of turmoil
Right.
in our friendship.
Right.
But today, like, I don't ever want you to feel that way, whatever. And so what I try to tell her, and I think any woman can agree with this, when you're in the heat of the moment and when you're in that moment with someone,
Mm-hmm.
you're not thinking, so you're not thinking the same way. You know what I mean? So,
I actually
so
posted.
listen, I
Uh-huh.
gotta tell you this.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So the same friend that I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
right? She the all right, so the situation with the new guy that she was talking
Mm-hmm.
to, the previous guy she had blocked and wasn't talking to or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
she hits me up and she was like, somebody that they knew, her previous guy who she was no longer dealing with, and
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't on social media, was so called,
Mm-hmm.
somebody had passed away that they mutually knew. And so she called me and she was like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how do you know this if you're not doing the do? You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not even supposed to be in communication with this guy. So how did
Right.
you even know this?
Right.
So she got mad at me and we didn't speak for, I'm telling you, almost a year, because I'm like, why are you following this guy that you told me you was done with, and you know
Come
what I'm trying
on
to say?
now.
And she got mad at me because I called her out. I'm like, didn't you say you wasn't following, dude? And she got mad at me because she was like, that's not the point. The point is the person that blah 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 blah. So
Right.
go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is, I saw a reel earlier that I posted in my story, and I do not consider myself like a brutally honest person. I feel like people, while I do feel like being honest is mostly the best policy, right? Mostly. I think you can be honest tactfully. You can attempt to be tactful. That doesn't mean that the person that you are talking to is always going to receive it, you know, well. Like, they still might take offense to what you said, but some people are just rude in the way that they communicate. And so whether you're being honest or not, like, you don't have to purposefully be rude to someone. I think
Okay,
you
so
just have
stay
to be
for
tactful.
a
You
second.
disagree?
Unfortunately, me being a Sagittarius and
I know.
Honor, you
I already know.
Honor, I know she's a Sagittarius too. And
Mhm.
so is Jamal, one of her close friends.
Yeah, I know.
Jamal.
Jamal. Mhm.
We are brutally honest, but it's never with any type of maliciousness or or anything anger. We're just really honest about how we feel.
Well,
And unfortunately, some other people take that as being rude
listen,
or
I
tactless
already
or
know.
whatever.
But what I was gonna say though is what the guy was saying in the reel is, like, the timing, I guess, of when you deliver these messages is relevant, right? So he used an example of a friend of his who, I don't know if they were performing in a play or some kind of performance, and he was saying the play or whatever it was really sucked in his opinion. And so when the person came to him afterwards, immediately afterwards, and asked what he thought, when they were on this high, like they were all in this emotional space of like excited about, the experience and whatever, that wasn't the time to come back with a rational, like, well, this sucked because X, Y, and Z. So what he did was find, I guess, the silver lining in it and say, like, I'm so excited for you that you had this opportunity and whatever. The next day, he said, when she was like, had come down from the euphoria and wasn't in that emotional space, I don't remember if he prompted the conversation and said, like, do you really want to know what I think? I think that's what he said. Um, but at that point, the person was in a more rational frame of, well, I don't want to say rational. They weren't thinking like from an emotional perspective. So that then he kind of outlined why he didn't particularly like whatever it was that he saw. And he thought that's a better way to approach it. Like, approach rational with rational and emotional with emotional. That was what he said, but he articulated it much better than I did. It's still in my story, so you can watch it later if you want to see what he had to say. My point is, I still think that there's a way that you can deliver truth with tact.
Unfortunately, see, here's the thing. I hear everything you're saying. I
Mm-hmm.
understand it fully.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, when it comes to us, it just comes straight off the cuff, straight off the heart. We don't stop and think rationally and everything you thinking about and how this person gonna receive this. We just straight up say how we fucking feel at that moment. And but here's the thing that most people misconstrue. We don't do it to be malicious or mean. We're just telling you how we feel at that moment.
Is
And
it?
we're not, but I'm just trying to tell you, and I can't even speak for Sagittarius. I'm just speaking for myself,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Because I'm going to tell you how I feel at that moment. Now, when I have time to process things and have the full context of what's behind how you're feeling,
mm,
that's fine.
mm,
But for the
mm,
most part, what I don't want people to misconstrue about people that are brutally honest and about Sagittarians is that we're just so insensitive and rude and whatever. We're giving you how we really feel. And see, a lot of people in
mm,
relationships and friendships, they like to
mm,
sugarcoat, bounce around shit, and be a cheerleader. That's not a real friend. A real friend is going to tell you,
mm.
yo, you being petty right now.
No, look, I agree. I don't think that, like you said, if it's not a superficial situation, like if you really fuck with each other, so you don't feel like you're alone in the cussing, right? That that you should be able to talk to each other in love. I just have never been of the mindset, and I'm not gonna lie, because sometimes telling the truth is hard because somebody's going to get their feelings hurt no matter how you say it. And I'm not in the business of purposely hurting people's feelings unless you really piss me off.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Then I
I'm gonna tell you
then
this from my perspective.
uh
And like I said, I'm a loving person. I never want to hurt anyone, and
uh
I'm genuinely hurt if I did hurt someone and they took something that I may have said or done the wrong, what I feel is the wrong way. I'm never going to discredit how you may have received something, but at least let me explain where I was coming from because it's never coming from a malicious place. But I'm never going to discredit how you may have felt by something I said or did. Okay.
okay. So
So,
that's fair.
right. So, damn, where was I going with this?
I'm sorry.
So, when you
No.
said what you said, when it comes to me, I can't, like I said, I'm a full-blood Sagittarius. I'm in the middle. It ain't no on the cusp, no nothing.
Uh-huh.
I'm a everything you know about a Sagittarius, that's me.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
And what I want to say is based on what you said, and I wish that more people could give us credit for, is to know that it's never coming from a malicious hard place. Like we really genuinely we love hard and we love who we love, and we're gonna tell you straight up how we feel, and it's just how I
Well,
feel.
Mr. Chuck,
Oh, and we don't already like you said I'm never gonna do such and such. Sometimes, Stacy, we don't have the tact. Me personally, I don't have to attack at the moment. And I shouldn't be this way, and I'm working on it. I'm a very reactive person. Bloosh,
see, I was
fight.
about to
And
say
so I
though.
don't always take the time to think and have the compassion to say, well, how are they gonna receive this? I just say how I feel. Bloop, bloop,
Well,
bloop.
is it possible sometimes that, like, because we are known to be impulsive as well, that sometimes, like, the thing that the thought that you have before it comes out of your mouth, is it possible that you'd be like, you know what, let me not say this, just keep it to yourself, and then you just eat them words and don't say them, because you can think whatever you want to think, you can have whatever opinion you want to have, and honestly, if whatever the person is doing isn't necessarily going to harm them, I mean, do we have to have an opinion on what other people are doing all the time? No. I mean,
Sorry, I was getting a phone call.
no, it's
I
okay.
heard I heard the first part of what you said.
What I'm saying is that sometimes I think some things are just, better left unsaid is really what it boils down to. Like, I understand that you're saying you just want to get your point across, and however it comes across is how it comes across, but that might be why you could potentially find yourself in a situation where somebody's offended, and then you have to ask for their forgiveness, or that you feel like you have to explain yourself. But so back to the topic of forgiveness though, and apologizing. um they I was looking at, like, what they describe as like effective ways to apologize and ineffective ways to apologize. And um just because you might not have intended something a certain way doesn't mean that it wasn't received, or that the person didn't take offense. Now, it's not your responsibility to, um if somebody's not telling you, like, I didn't like what you did, you didn't offend me, if they're not opening their mouth to communicate, it's not your responsibility to read their mind. If you can sense in their body language or the way they're interacting with you that something is wrong, then ask. But if they're not forthcoming and they're just offended and not saying anything, I mean, we're adults, so you have to be able to communicate when you feel somebody's done you wrong, especially if it's somebody that you care about, right?
Right.
But, like, for example, an example of not a good way to apologize is, I'm sorry that you feel that way, or I'm sorry, but then try to bring up something that they did to deflect off of what you did in that moment. Maybe they did do something, right? But in this moment, we talking about you. We talking about you and what you did, right? We focusing on you. So it's just, I'm sorry, and leave it at that. And then, the behavior has to reflect. I mean,
Is that
everything obviously doesn't.
what you prefer? Is it? Would you prefer someone just say, "I'm sorry"? I'm sorry that you felt that way about what I did. Is
No,
that what
no,
you
no.
prefer?
I do not want to hear, I'm sorry that you felt that way, because that's going to send me to the moon. Um,
That's. I mean, that's a good response though. I'm sorry that you felt that way. Why would that send you to the moon?
because I'm thinking about somebody that I used to date who would do that. He gaslit the shit out of me, and that was one of the ways that he would do it. Like, basically, like, trying to minimize how I felt about something that he did, or try to make it seem like it wasn't a big deal. Well, maybe it wasn't a big deal to you. Go, by the way, sometimes people can be sensitive about shit that doesn't make any sense to you, and
But
you're
did he
and,
follow it up? Okay, let me say this. Did
mhm,
he did he follow it up with, I'm sorry that you felt that way, right?
mhm.
Because I would say that because I want to hear how the person received whatever it was that I did. But I'm sorry that you felt that way, but this is what I meant and this is how I felt. Like, if he explained himself and saying that he was sorry that you received it that way, but and then he shared his perspective. Did he do that?
I think saying I'm sorry that you received it sounds better than I'm sorry that you felt that way,
Okay,
when then they try to dismiss how you feel about it.
got
Like, just, if you cannot apologize without trying to qualify or diminish or minimize or make it seem like it's not a big deal, when maybe it is a big deal to the person. Like I said, I've had to apologize for things that in my mind, I'm like, stop acting like a little bitch. That's what I was thinking in my mind. But I'm like, you know what? Do you care about this person? Is it worth being petty, or perpetuating an argument that's not even, again, that I don't think is anything worth arguing about, but is it worth creating this rift in the situation and potentially allowing this little thing to become something bigger, because I can't just say I'm sorry? I can call you all kinds of names in my head. I can think it's dumb, and I can think whatever I want to think. But if you need to hear I'm sorry, and it sounds sincere, then if I care, that's what I'm gonna give you. If I don't care, then I'm gonna be like, well, then I'm gonna say other things. But if I care, I think that's the appropriate way to respond to it. Just, don't let it, like, don't let a mountain or a molehill become a mountain.
Become a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Um. So,
I don't know if it particularly relates, but as you know, as you know, I'm married,
mm,
and I've been married. It'll be 10 years in April,
mm,
but I've been with my husband for 15
mm,
years, and you know, this is TMI, and trust me, my husband, he's so private. He doesn't let me. He doesn't like. He thinks I'm an oversharer, even on my regular Facebook. And I don't think I'll be putting too much out on Facebook and Instagram. But he thinks what I share is just too much. But I'm gonna just say this: he had surgery recently,
mm,
and I've been the doting wife. Like, are you good? Are
mm,
you okay? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? Woo woo woo.
mm,
And one particular day, I guess I was being too insistent. And he was like, just leave me alone. I'm okay.
mm,
He was watching something on TV.
mm,
And I was like, he's in the surgery, the type of surgery that he had. He needs me.
mm,
And he was being snippy. He was just like, just leave me alone.
mm,
Da, da, da.
mm,
And whatever I was talking to him about, it was for his own benefit to ensure that he was supposed to be doing for his recovery. Just put it
right.
like that.
Okay.
But I had to I had to, woosah.
Right.
Because he was like, just leave me alone.
Mm,
I had to take a moment and just woosah
mm,
and just walk away.
yeah.
Because and just be like, I love this man. He's just snipping at me for whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now, the
Right.
old me, for somebody who I ain't give a F about,
Right.
I would have been like, nigga,
Right.
don't you, bop, 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 bop. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
But I would imagine like Shanice was saying, like, being married, that you have to show a lot of grace and forgiveness. Like, is it like, I don't think, I would assume that marriage cannot have longevity if you're committed to being right. Are you committed to making the relationship work? I'm not saying that I think you should always have to back down or take a back seat, or not have your opinion heard, but I do think that there's I guess this is the part of compromising. Sometimes it's not worth it.
It
Like,
goes back to what I was saying earlier, even about your friendships with your girlfriends.
mm,
Sometimes you have to exercise grace
mm, mm,
because you never understand. Here it is, my husband went through this major surgery
mm,
and he probably has all kinds of shit rolling through his mind.
right.
And your girlfriends, I have another friend, she has something going on with her grandson,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And she's upset because she sent a text about her
mm,
grandson to her brother,
mm,
and her brother wasn't being responsive. And I
mm,
had to tell her, yo, your brother may be going through something right now. Show him some grace. You haven't heard from this guy. Ooh, woo, woo, woo. Y'all booed up, booed up. You haven't heard from him in a couple days.
mm.
Before you jump off the deep end and think he effing around or whatever, show people some grace because you never know what they're going through. And
Words of wisdom. However, it's. I mean, look. Yeah, them situations, can be touchy, because sometimes, you showing people grace and they playing in your face. Bars.
I know, but you listen, but you can't. I feel you. You have to you have to pray and you have to tell God to give you that type of discernment. But if you go into every situation with that type of
Mm,
pessimism, that's what you're gonna attract and draw. I'm just not a type of person that believes in going into things with pessimism. Oh,
mm.
this nigga gonna try to play me again, blah 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 blah. Because
Fair.
I just don't roll like that. I'm sorry. I'm just different.
No, no,
I'm
no.
always I'm
That's
always
fair.
about giving people grace in any situation. Don't base shit on your history and what you've been through. And this person did me wrong. Same
You're
old
right.
song.
No,
No,
you're
show
right.
people grace.
You're listen. I'm in therapy, right? And I do believe that anyone new that you deal with, from a relationship perspective, needs to be given a clean slate. However, based on experience, right? I also think that you have to watch what they do, not just what they're saying, right?
True.
So I'm more inclined now from experience to watch your behavior and your words, rather than what you say, because some things often do not align. And
And I give
so
you, I have everything that you're saying tonight. I have examples of.
I'm sure you do.
I have a close girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
who, and you know her, but I'm not going to say her name. But I have a close girlfriend who's dating a guy,
Mm-hmm.
and so we had a little get together over the weekend, and she had invited him, and he didn't come or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was Sunday, and what are we on Tuesday? No, we're on Wednesday now, and he was supposed to come, and she hadn't talked to him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I know the guy. And I'm like, yo, something. I said, my gut is telling me something's not right because this is not his character to have not have reached out. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, maybe something's wrong. Maybe he's going on with something.
Mm-hmm.
And she's more like, maybe I'm the softie of people because
Mm-hmm.
she's like, no, I'm done. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm more of a person like I look at people's track record and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like something's not right. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to say?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think, now that I think about it, I probably do give people too much grace.
Well, look,
Because I'm the type of person where people will cut me off and I will be like, why they cut me off? Even on Facebook, Stacey, people will unfriend me. Why they unfriend me? What did I do? Do. That's how I am.
so with respect to, like, I guess, caring and needing understanding, right? Something else I've talked about on Hey Kelly, um something else I've talked about on like prior shows is rejection and ghosting. Right, you would hate me because because I
You do
look
not ghost people, do you? Do you ghost people?
look what I'm gonna say on the topic of ghosting. Okay. Even though that's not the topic of this conversation, but just a quick aside on ghosting. I know sometimes it's a shitty thing to do. And remember, I did say earlier that as much as I like to be open, right? Sometimes it's hard to have that conversation. And so sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to avoid it. And that's a punk ass thing to do. But but I will, you know what, but I will say it depends on the nature of my connection to the person. Like if it's somebody, like let's say if it's a dude I'm talking to, and like we might have a rapport, we haven't really been out yet. That's a good reason for me to not ghost you. If you what you doing, and hey, and you not making no plans, that's a good reason for you, and you should understand why. I don't really think they would care in a case like that. I'm talking about if you've been out on dates with somebody and you've spent time with them and around them, um and maybe you just feel like for some reason it's not going to work. Sometimes that conversation can be awkward, and so I might just say something like, you know what, I don't think I want to date right now. I think I need a break from dating right now. That could or could not be true. And then sometimes I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think nowadays I'm like, if you're not really giving me consistent effort that much, I'm like, you don't care. Because if you did, you would be giving consistent effort, and if I don't know,
I think
I'm digressing.
I think every situation is unique, like you said.
Yeah, I mean,
However, I look at relationships, and it's been a long time since I was in dating realm or
uh-huh,
whatever.
uh-huh,
However, I look at dating and relationships. am just being with men almost as a job interview. Like, there have been jobs that I've applied for that I did not get. And I always wanted to know why. Like, what was it that you didn't, like about me? And that type of I know it's a difficult conversation, and trust me, I know. But I just think it would help so many people in their it might,
Development.
it might not have worked with you and a particular person, but all right, for example, one thing I've been told about me is that I'm really aggressive and this, that, and the other. It's like once you receive constructive feedback, you're able to, first of all, no matter who you're gonna be with, ultimately, you want to fucking be yourself. So
Well,
regardless of what
1,000%.
you receive or whatever, you want to be comfortable with someone who you can be yourself. But if there's some things that you know that you can work on about yourself, that's constructive feedback, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the constructive feedbacks I received about myself is that I was very aggressive and very like, I don't need a man type of thing.
I've been told I'm aggressive too. I mean,
Yeah.
not by there's someone in particular that comes to mind, but they'll tell me they think, I'm like a fake thug.
I've
But
been told, but listen, I've been told this about, and it's not about men that I've been dating. I've been told this about black male. I don't give a fuck about white. I'm sorry, I don't know who your viewers are, but I've been told this
it's a
about
mix.
black male colleagues that I've worked with in my office about how I present myself around the office. And they say, Sharon, you just very strong, assertive, blah, 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 blah. They're not trying to date me or see me in any type of way, but they're just giving me the perspective about how I come off. And if I come off that way in a business setting, professional setting, I know I come off that way in terms of my tone of voice and how I come off in terms of guys and relationships. So I take all of that into consideration. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep. So wait, hold on. Let me see what some of these comments are saying. So Just Stat says feedback can be subjective in a relationship. Self, was it wrong to be the true you and change? What? Okay, I don't know. I don't know. But wait, to go back to the conversation. I mean, to the topic rather. Just give me a moment because I want to make sure that I touch on some
Are you
of the
recording this?
It it it'll be recorded. I usually post it on YouTube afterward. The only time I didn't do that was the last time I was on here because that devolved into a I don't know what. Anyway,
But
um,
you doing it for us?
what's that?
Are you doing
Yeah,
it for our
for us,
Yeah,
for us, yeah.
that's what's
So,
what's up.
um, so, oh, I wanted to know for people who are, um, for people who are in the comments, do any of you believe in holding grudges? Like, or are there any types of like offenses somebody could do to you that you just could never forgive? Like for me, I would think, anyone trying to do harm to, my loved ones, my family members, especially like, well, really any of my loved ones, you do harm to them, like extreme harm. Mm-mm. I don't, that's not something I can forgive.
Here's a grudge I never could forgive. And I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm just going to put it out there.
Go ahead.
Because you caught me on a good day when I'm just going to put everything out there.
Okay.
So, a grudge that I could never, okay, so like I said, I've been married. It's going on 10 years, been with my husband 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not one of those women. I'm all about the girlfriend code. Okay, Stacey? So, say for instance, me and you best friends, right? I'm not going to date or be involved with
I already know where
any
this is
man
going.
that you have dated or who has even liked you. Say for instance, me and you girls, we've been knowing each other since middle school. Then we in our 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a crush on the
Mm-hmm.
dude, right? But he
Mm-hmm.
like you. He like you. He lets me be known, but he like you. I'm just not one of them type of chicks that's going to date anybody that my girl has dated in the past or who has liked her. You know what I mean? Normally, I don't understand how women can be like, oh, that was 10 years, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Nah, girl code, I'm not going to date any guy that I know was feeling you.
So I feel similarly, but I know of situations. Well, first of all, I'm like, I can't see a scenario where, unless I did not know that there was history between, these people until like after the fact. I don't know how, like, I feel like unless I was seeing somebody for a while and I didn't say anything until it, turned into something like more serious, right? Or like it seemed like it was going to develop into something. And I was like, hey, hey y'all, I'm talking to this guy. I really like him, his name is so and so. And then one of them was like, oh shit, I used to date him. Or like, we talked. Like, so you're saying if it's somebody,
I'm
obviously if it was
saying
somebody
now, listen,
in
I'm
any
saying now,
any
and people going
scenario,
people
whether
going to judge me for this. People going to judge me for this, Stacey, because listen, I'm saying
Baltimore is
right
very,
now.
very
Wait a minute,
small.
wait. I'm saying now because the reason I say people going to judge me for this
Mm-hmm,
is because I'm married, and
mm-hmm,
I'm saying that if any of my girlfriends,
mm-hmm,
my close girls, I
mm-hmm,
don't give a fuck, my girls,
mm-hmm,
and I'm fucking
mm-hmm.
married. And I know people, this is not gonna be a popular opinion. I'm saying, even though I'm married, none of my girls better not date any fucking body that they know I dated in the past. Now, what you got to say about that?
So okay, so what I'm saying is, because I don't think I've ever been in a situation. I'm trying to think if I've ever been in a situation like that. I have been in a situation where um a guy that my friend, like back in high school, a guy that my girlfriend liked me. And she had done something to me that made me feel like, you know what? Because she started it. So I was like, oh, you want to start? Well, let me finish it.
Right,
So and that,
right.
that caused, like, basically we didn't end up, we weren't friends anymore after that. But now, I mean, I'm like I said, I would never purposely, knowingly talk to somebody that was a former, like somebody that they dealt with. Um, if it was a scenario where I happened to, hook up with somebody that they dated before and then come to find out after the fact, now that's awkward as shit. Because now let's say you're like really rocking with this person, and let's say if it was somebody that they talked to and nothing happened, they didn't sleep together, nothing came of it. You still feel like no, you can't even talk to this person.
Nah,
Uh-uh.
no, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that it goes that far because I've been in that situation too, where I didn't know,
Right,
the day or whatever. That's
right.
I'm not saying
But I'm
that.
saying, like, after you found out, did you? Because again, I've heard of situations where, and it's not because I'm like, oh well, fuck that, anybody's fair game. I don't feel like that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't feel
don't.
like that. I feel like this was your man. This was somebody that I can't, like, in no scenario can I picture me having the desire to intentionally date somebody that one of my girlfriends used to date. If it's somebody if it's
Exactly.
somebody I'm not close to, I,
That's different.
yeah,
That's
if it's somebody
different.
I'm not close to, I don't know.
That's
Like
different.
but it
That's different.
depends
But I'm talking
though.
about one of your
No,
girls. Yeah,
no. Mm-mm.
right. That's different. Yeah. And some people don't agree with us on that. But that's just how I feel.
Well, I
Like,
want to know, is there anybody in the comments? I know the men would feel differently because they don't care. They still be friends. They'll talk to the same. I mean, these
They
are
don't have
grown
the
ass men.
same girl code that we have.
Well, they're not girls, so
They be tunnel buddies. Everybody know what tunnel buddies are?
I'm sure they can figure it out. So, Shanice said she agrees as well. So, okay, but that is your scenario that you feel like you could not forgive. Does anybody else want to share? Now, Eric, I don't know if he's still on here, but my friend Eric from Carolina said he's a number one grudge holder. I want to know, for people who like to hold grudges, what do you get out of that? Like, I understand that if somebody does something really offensive to you, um, and then makes no attempt to, they know that they offended you, they know that they upset you, or they did you wrong or whatever, and it's somebody, that you're close to or whatever, and they made no attempt to rectify the situation or apologize, I can understand why you might not want to mess with them anymore. But like, if they've attempted to apologize, what I'm not saying you have to continue dealing with them, but like, what does it hurt you to just be like, you know what, whatever? All you're doing is holding on to anger and whatever negative feelings that you associate with whatever it was that they did. And I understand there's levels of things that people can do to you, right? But like, for example, you know, well, you know what, I'm not even going to use that as an example. All I'm saying is there's levels, right? Because somebody could do something really minor and you being like, well, I'm not going to let that go. For what? Like, what do you get out of that? That's what I want to understand. I don't know if he's still on here. Does anyone else like to hold grudges? He's an Aries too. He's making us look bad.
Let me say this until somebody else asks to join or whatever. Okay?
Hmm.
I want to know. I want to give you a scenario, a real life scenario that happened to me,
Hmm.
and I want to know how you would handle it.
Okay.
If somebody else wants to join and answer your question, just cut me off, okay?
Well, hold on. Hold your thought really quickly. Because people are saying, Shanice said forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for you. Wasted energy to hold grudges. I agree. Um, Michael says, I'm with you on that, but the friendship will never be you try to date or talk to a lady I used to talk to. We cool. Um, Carl Cartier says you're giving them power over you as well if you hold on to that. And holding grudges is like constantly picking your scab. Exactly. This is how I feel. I'll be getting real mad. I might get real mad about something. I go off. Now I feel better. If I was OD, I'm gonna apologize, and then I feel like let's move on. But some of y'all just want to stay mad for what? Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. You wanted to give me a scenario. I hope you didn't forget what it was. Now, did you forget?
I didn't forget. You
Okay.
ready?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else ask to
Nope.
join or anything?
Nope.
All right. Let me ask you this and your viewers. I want to hear your perspective and I want to hear your viewers' perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I have a close, who I thought was a close girlfriend who I've known. We used to work together at one of my first jobs since I graduated from college.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about the 90s, the mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine that I acquainted at work.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, now we on Facebook. I don't think I joined Facebook until I ain't no, mind you, I said this friend that I've known since we worked together, since I graduated from college, and
Mm-hmm.
this is like the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Now we fast forward to Facebook, which I didn't join till like the 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So another mutual friend added me to a group where I met this young lady,
Mm-hmm.
and so happened she was the best friend of this girl that I've been knew that I worked with. My first job out of college that I told you I met in the 90s. So the girl that I met on Facebook, recently, last year, gets married.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, viewers, Stacy, weddings and funerals, what? Drama, okay?
All
So,
right. I think I know what you're talking about, but okay.
all right. So weddings and funerals drama.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, I knew the girl, like I told y'all, since the '90s, who was my friend, who I thought was my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that she was friends with the girl that I've now befriended on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
until recently.
Mm-hmm.
The girl on Facebook is getting married.
Okay.
Now, this girl that I knew since the '90s, all right, so the girl on Facebook is getting married. They having all this little hubbub about bridesmaids, who's coming, boo woo woo,
Mm-hmm.
which I was not involved in. But
Mm-hmm.
now she knows that I'm friends with the girl from
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. So, long story short, it's all this wedding hubbub, which
Mm-hmm.
I was not involved in. But now she knows that I'm current friends with this girl. So, she, when she blocks and unfriends everybody, she includes me. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I'm just a mutual friend of both of y'all. So
So
I
she's
felt
upset with
really
somebody else in your friend
uncomfortable about
circle.
the situation. Like, what the fuck you unfriend me for? I got nothing to do with the fact that this all merge shit. Cause I'm not involved in that shit. I wasn't a bridesmaid. I wasn't involved in none of that. But
Right.
because she knew that I was a mutual friend of this person,
Mm.
she blocked all of us. So what do you feel about that?
I, so, okay. So I'm of the opinion, look, I had done a show last year with about friendship with Honor, Noreen, and Chantel. And we talked about like a bunch of different topics, and one
It's
of them
funny because
was
one of the girls' name is Chantel.
um but it was about we talked about a bunch of different topics, but one of them was on like is your beef mine? So if you got beef with somebody that we are mutually connected to, do I now adopt whatever, you know, stance you have, and I don't mess with um the person that you have the beef with either? My answer was it's a like I would consider myself closer to them probably than whoever this outside person is, so it wouldn't be a thing for me to be like, all right, well, okay. But on the other hand, I feel like, well, what's the reason that y'all are beefing? Because are y'all just like, again, I'm not saying I have to be friends with this outside person, but I'm like, if I didn't, what, like, it depends on what the reason is that y'all are beefing. Like,
So
it.
listen, hold on. My question to you is this:
Mm,
everything is like in motion already.
mm-hmm.
So because I told you earlier the type of person that I am, I'm honestly asking you, should I just leave it alone? Like, you don't fuck with me because of this? Could you
But
cut
this is
me
what
off
I'm
because of your
saying.
friend? Or would I be okay in reaching out and saying, hey, what problem do you have with me? I had nothing to
Well,
do.
but this is
Why did you cut me
right.
off?
But
Because
this is what I'm saying. It would be like if the scenario I described, um, it was what, I'm trying to think, as the outside person. Now I'm beefing with you, like you're friends with them, and whatever, y'all had some kind of falling out,
but
and I know
you
that's
didn't
not.
you technically had no falling out with the person. You're just a mutual friend of somebody that they had a falling
No,
out
I
with.
know, but I'm saying, like, it's like everybody goes with whoever is, in that friend group.
And I
And
don't think that's
I,
right.
no,
I just
no,
don't.
no. The thing is, it depends on the situation whether or not I would be like, you know what? I don't really care. I don't have any particular like allegiance to this person. Now, your situation is different because you had a history with the other person too. I don't know how close you were.
Right.
I kind of feel like it depends. In that case, I would probably wonder too, like, well, what did I do? Why is he mad at me? But But do you really care about that? Maintaining that relationship? Well, and I'm like, I don't, that's not me. But is you maintaining the friendship with the old person that you work with going to cause a situation with the other person that you're friends with? No, she's the newer person, right? The Facebook person.
The newer person will have no beef with me reconnecting with her, because, and I've expressed to her, I was like, why is she mad at me when the whole situation is about you and her? So she would have no situation about, and to be honest with you, if she did, I wouldn't care, because me and the previous person I've known longer.
Right. I mean, I think, look, sometimes I think that shit gets petty. I don't want to get into, unless I'm being asked to intervene in a situation, right? And put my 2 cents in or try to, bring somebody back together. I'm like, whatever's between y'all, or unless they're doing harm to my close friend, now I do have a problem with you. I have a problem with you too. But if it's over something that I'm kind of like,
That you have nothing to do
yeah,
with.
I don't have anything to do with it, and it's like something that they, like, okay, if y'all don't like each other, okay.
So
I'm
would
not
you?
saying
So
now
here's
I'm
my
gonna
question:
go.
Is you? Here's my question: Would you just let it go, or would you try to make peace with the person?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Your situation, I feel like, is a little bit different because you had a pre-existing relationship with them. You were closer to them. Like, that's a different scenario. The scenario I was describing is like, there's my core group of friends, and then there's other people, who are acquainted, right? They may be closer to those other people than I am, but I also know those other people. So now they got beef with that person. They're an acquaintance. I think, they seem cool. I never had any issue with them. So if I would see them out or whatever, it's cool. But like if they got beef with them, I've definitely been in a situation where I feel like I can't talk to them anymore because I don't want my friend being like, what the fuck you talking to them for? Like,
Right,
but meanwhile, I'm like, well, they didn't do anything to me. I don't,
right. Ain't that some shit?
but it's not like I'm saying I'm picking them over you. I'm just saying, like, do I have to be as mad at them? Did they do something, like, did they sleep with your husband? Did they do something that you can't, like, is it a petty reason that y'all aren't talking? Or is it like, no, they tried to, like, do harm to my child? Like, they did something really egregious. If they did something really egregious, I'm not messing with them either. If it seems to me kind of like, I mean, I'm just probably going to stay out of it. If I see the person out, then it's what's up. I'm not going to be having conversations with them on the side, keying and like, now we're buddies and I'm teaming up with them against my friend. It's just like if I see you out in the street, what up? Like, and keep it
Listen,
moving.
listen. Women are something else, okay? Stacey, I'm dealing with this in two situations. Not just the situation, scenario that I gave you, but another scenario with another friend who you know as well. Very closely. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna hit you when we get offline. That
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the same situation. I'm like, these people ain't do nothing to me. I don't
What
have beef for people.
do y'all think in the comments? Because y'all are mighty quiet. I think there's a lot of guys in here now. They probably like, we don't get into this. This is like women. This is women stuff. I feel like I feel like guys don't have these kind of like,
But yeah,
I don't
Stacey,
know.
you know this person that I'm about to tell you about. This I'm in the
Well,
middle of like
they gonna come to me later like, you let her come on here talking about me.
that's
People
that's
that
why
you're
I ain't
talking
saying no
about.
names. I'm not saying
I
no
know,
names.
I know, but I probably know all the people that you're talking about. I mean, I don't know them like,
Yeah, you don't
I'm
know
saying,
them, but you know
but
us.
I'm sure I know everybody that you're talking about. But look, again, it's up to you. But yeah, that's high school. It's funny to share your feelings about a person, but it's a serious issue. I'm definitely gonna let you know. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want
You
to.
know what? It's funny because I'm sorry. It's funny because my daughter is in her 20s.
Mm-hmm.
She's in her late 20s, and she shares with me about some of the situations she goes with her girlfriends. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling her, Jasmine, I'm a grown ass woman, and we still going through these type of.
I'm telling you, man. Again, all I'm saying is I know who I consider my real friends, and anybody else, like you cool, we're an acquaintance. And if I find out otherwise, or if I just feel like I don't like the way you move in general, or you move weird, like, nah, I don't have to associate with you either. You might not have done something to me directly per se, but like again, it depends on the reason that y'all are beefing. Um, and because we can be dramatic, right? And
We have a mutual girlfriend, and I could put her. I don't think she would be upset about this. We have a mutual girlfriend, Pink, for example. She's
are you sure?
a person. She's very. Did you hear who I
Yeah,
said?
yeah, I
Pink.
did. Do you think
She's
she's
very.
gonna be upset that you're talking about her on here?
I really don't. I don't think she will, because about what I'm about to say. She's very big on loyalty, and when it comes to friendships and things of that nature.
Hmm.
So she's one of them type of people who, and like I said, I don't think she'll be upset because she knows me. I keep it real.
Well,
She's
I hope not.
she's very.
Can I see if she wants to join? Because
She,
I feel
she
bad. I don't
might
like
be up.
talking.
She might be up. Um, she's big on loyalty, right?
Hmm.
And so if somebody who her close girlfriend, somebody who offended her, and we her close girlfriends, she don't want us to fuck with that person either. See if she
Yeah.
on. See if she on. She don't want us to fuck with people who have offended her.
Again, it depends on what was done, right? Whether, because, like I said, who do I consider my in my core group of friends? Those are the people whose feelings I care most about. We're probably like, I'll know whatever it is that happened that they feel like I don't mess with this person because blah 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 blah. If when they tell me what happened, now granted I'm only hearing their side of the story, but they're my friends, so those are the people I'm gonna most likely rock with for sure. If we're like out in public and something comes up, I'm rocking with them. And even if I might think, you know what, I kind of feel like they're wrong, I'm rocking with you in public, but behind the scenes, we might have to have a conversation about it.
And that makes sense. That makes sense because you can't let your friends. You can't always be a cheerleader for your friends' bullshit. You gotta call
You
them.
can't, but you
You gotta be
shouldn't.
like,
But
yo, you being petty, or you not looking at it from such and such perspective. You know what I mean?
no, 1,000%. But I think that conversation should be had in private, not like in public in front of the
And
ops.
it's right. And I would never do that. Exactly. I would never do that.
Yeah.
I try to
So,
join because it would be a good
well,
conversation.
now you done started talking about her. Hold on, let me see.
She ain't gonna disagree with me.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I think. Look, it's nice to have people who are loyal.
She's
And
she's a very loyal friend. I gotta put me on mute or something. I'll be right back.
okay. So let me talk to y'all in the comments real quick because I'm gonna wrap up in a few minutes. Anyway. Okay. Shanice, you should join. Do you So you would feel similarly, like how see, I'm not gonna say her name. I'll leave that to Sharon, but how our friend who she referenced feels. Um, um, I want to know your thoughts on that. At those character flaws. All right, I see Eric. I'm sorry. I'm just looking through the comments now. The hard conversations are the ones we stray away from. Um, just stats. Do you mean men in general, or do you just mean like amongst friends? Um, yeah, I mean, again, so the main topic of conversation for tonight's show is really going to be about forgiveness, right? Forgiveness, holding grudges, apologies, and this would fall under the realm of like holding grudges, I guess. Like, should you be holding a grudge against somebody that you don't even have beef with on behalf of, a friend. I think it depends. I think it depends on what they did to that friend.
Have
First, there's some
you
things
did you try to add Pink?
I can. What remind me again what her
Let
IG
me
name is.
let me text her. Let me see.
Yeah, because if I go off of here, I think it's gonna close out of I her IG name is escaping me right now.
She's
Um,
she changes it a lot.
yeah,
Hold
she
on. I don't
does.
even know
Oh wait,
what
I
the
just
fuck.
found her. I just found her. So I just sent her an invite. Um, I'm gonna add her in the comments. I don't know if she'll. I don't know if she'll come on or not. But
I just text her.
all right. You know what? In fact, hold on. I'm gonna do something else actually. Well, no, I think I just did what I was trying to do. I sent her an invite to join. So all right, so what do y'all think about forgiveness? Are you forgivers? Are you grudge holders? Do you apologize when you're wrong? Or do you always think you're right? I've heard the men say on here before because they always like to talk about how women don't take accountability. And usually when you're taking accountability, you're acknowledging that you did something that was wrong. It doesn't always have to be in the context of an apology. She said she's unable to join. So um but I would like to know, what y'all think. I can apologize if I'm wrong. Um, I can be accountable. I mean, I know I'm not always right. I know I'm not always right. I know sometimes I might overreact to something. I know, as Sharon said, sometimes that mouth can be spicy. So,
You
sometimes
never told me what you said. You're a fire sign. But what's your sign?
I'm an Aries. Yes.
Aries. Okay.
Yeah. So
Aries
she's not.
are good people though.
Well,
Y'all like the top fire sign in terms of like
that's right. We the leaders of
y'all
the
the most
zodiac.
reasonable. You know what I mean? Fire sign.
Oh,
If I
the
could-
Leos are very
yeah,
grandiose,
they
and
all about themselves. I'm the best. I'm the perfect. I'm the
wait,
Leo.
so
I'm
no,
the
but
king of the
our
jungle. I'm the perfect. And
well,
then
no,
the
but what I will say
Sagittarius,
is
we the ones that just brutally
yes,
honest.
yes, yes. But what I will say is I'm not ruled, by my zodiac, right? I don't think everything I do is because of that. However, I do think when I look at some of the characteristics that are attributed to my sign, there's some validity, right? So, for instance, we are known to be fire, well, not fiery. The temper is a temper. That's what we are, notorious for having a hot temper.
It takes a lot to get to that hot temper,
No,
though.
it does
It
not.
does.
It does not.
Well, I dated an Aries. It took a lot to push his button.
Well,
I should have
I,
stayed with that. No,
I said,
let me shut up. Hold
yeah,
on.
bless you. Before you get off here arguing.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I would never date an Aries man.
You would
Um,
never date an Aries man?
what? Absolutely not. So wait,
Would
hold
you
on.
date a
My last,
Aries man?
yeah, mhm.
You would? That's the one you shouldn't date, a Sagittarius man. Lord have mercy. They fucked up. Excuse my language.
Well, there's only like right now. There's one that comes to mind, but
That you could see
no,
yourself with?
no,
Uh,
fuck no. But okay, wait, hold on. So Shanice says my last thought is forgiveness and grace is necessary for your growth. I agree.
I can't even see any of the new
Are
comments.
you
I can only
clear?
see. No, I can't. I can't see no new comments. The last comment I see is from Billion Dollar Trap. He say, "Okay, sauce tonight, Becky.
Yeah,
Green look good on you."
no, okay, that's an old comment. A comment?
Becky and I sauce. I'm sauce. Billion Dollar Trap.
Wait, hold on. Okay. So,
I can't see no new comments. Oh well, let me refresh.
all right, I'm gonna read a couple of these. I know she can't join, so because I'm gonna wrap up in a minute. But Joseph Bowie the third says forgiveness is a tool of the strong. I agree. Shanice, you'll have to join me on here one evening, but Shanice, I think you had a lot of valuable insights to share.
That's our
Uh,
shit, Bunny.
yeah,
Bunny record.
yes. She
Oh,
says,
Shanice.
My last thought is forgiveness and grace is necessary for your growth. People are human and flawed, and it takes strength to truly forgive someone. I'm a realist and very understanding to life situations. Perfectly stated.
I can't
Um,
see no new comments.
and then J Biz the Ill says forgiveness is an interesting concept because the reality is that you never forget a person's transgressions against you. And as a result, you never trust the person anymore and look at them sideways. I think it's it depending on what they did to you. Because again, there's levels, there's extremes, right? I think it's possible. Like, look how many people, you know, and infidelity is not a deal breaker for for everyone. Plenty of people stay together who have been through that situation. But if you're in a monogamous relationship and have committed to being exclusively with one another, and then somebody, dips out, right? Then you've broken a trust. And like I said, everybody doesn't consider that a deal breaker. I think a lot of people don't consider it a deal breaker. Are you raising your hand because you don't consider it a deal breaker, or you
I
do?
don't. I don't
Well, no,
consider.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I
I
mean, look,
don't consider. My
a lot
husband.
of people don't.
My husband would disagree. He was like, he will. I'm just keeping it real.
Nah, but
He straight up
that's what
tell me,
most men will
like,
say.
yeah, he straight up will tell me if I find out you cheat on me, we done. Ain't no whatever.
That's what most
Me,
men
me
will
on the other hand,
say,
me
but
on the
do
other
other
hand,
things.
yeah, me on the other hand, I don't feel that way. Like it's not for me. Infidelity is not a deal breaker for me, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to put that out there broadcast so much.
Right.
It's not a deal breaker for me.
No. Well, like I said, I don't necessarily think it's a deal breaker for a lot of people. I mean, everyone wants to be big and bad and say, "Oh, nah, I wouldn't accept
Yeah,
that." But
exactly.
but but the thing is, a lot of guys, most men will say publicly, like, "I would never, like, you got to go. I'm out of there." And they be right with them same women. Not all of them. I think it'd probably be more men that would leave than a woman would in that scenario. But a lot of men absolutely will stay because you have too much invested in that situation. Now, if it's habitual, then maybe that's a different situation. But no, I mentioned that as an example because when Jay Biz was talking about like looking at them sideways and having to rebuild the trust, that's a scenario that even if you would forgive them and stay, you need to rebuild, the level of trust because it's been compromised. Um, but it's a scenario that you could forgive, you could forgive somebody. Um, Potentially. I think a lot of people forgive that, but even though they front like they wouldn't.
Exactly.
Um, a
There's a
lot of
lot
people
of cap,
front like they
a lot of
wouldn't.
capping going on online where people say they wouldn't, but you and I both know.
It's so common. Like,
Yeah,
I, I'm,
like
by the way, I'm not inviting that or saying that I want it because I'm crazy. So
exactly.
don't
I'm
come to
not
me
saying
with
I'm
that.
giving you a pass,
Right.
like to go and do it, but you know what I mean? So I'm just
Okay.
keeping it real. Like
Yeah.
it's not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on how to like the stability of the relationship in general.
Exactly.
If it's a crappy relationship and then you add that on top, well, you know
Then
what?
that's
Bye, Danny.
different.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, anyway, so I'm going to okay, just reading some of these last few comments before I wrap up. Um, Joseph Bowie says forgiveness confirms growth. The offender can't harm the new you, only the old you. Okay, come through with the emotional intelligence. I like it. Well, like I said, I feel like it doesn't benefit you to hold grudges against people. Holding or forgiving somebody does not mean that you have to continue. I don't know what just happened to Sharon, but oh, that doesn't mean that you have to allow them to remain a fixture in your life. It depends on who the person is. But I think you can forgive them for your own benefit. So you're not just holding on to this anger and, these ill feelings, because they can affect you mentally and physically. So that's my take on that. But so thank you. When is Hip Hop Jeopardy? I have to talk to my judge about that. We need to come up with a date. But yeah, what would you like to be a contestant, Joseph? Because I definitely need to run that back. Yes. So with that said, thank you for joining me this evening, young lady. Are you still there? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah. I see you.
Okay.
Now I see you. Yeah, so I'm about to wrap up. So I appreciate you joining me, sharing your insights. Hopefully Pink's not going to be upset that you invoked her name.
She won't.
even though I think what you said about her, I think,
Yeah, she won't. That's my boo. She won't.
yeah, I think being a loyal friend is a good thing.
It's
So,
absolutely a good
um,
thing. And thank
go
you.
ahead.
Thank you for including me.
Of
Anytime,
course,
my boo.
you're welcome to join me anytime. And again, I always leave the doors of the church are open. So if anyone, I'm not now because I'm wrapping up, but if y'all, want to join me on a future episode, holla at me in the DM about this. Okay.
And you can I don't know what you do or whatever, but you can put my social media
Oh, yeah.
stuff on there.
Yes. So remind me again, it's
It's
Miller
Miller
underscore
C underscore or 72. It's something. I don't know if
not
it's
something.
Miller
Well,
C 70. I think it's Miller C underscore 72, if I'm not mistaken.
okay, I'm putting it in Miller C. Yeah, that sounds right.
Does that
But
sound
in
right?
any case, when I share any footage from it, then I will definitely tag you.
Yeah, yeah, please
So I'll
do.
find you there. So
Yeah, please do. I don't mind. And I
okay.
really, like I said, hold on, let me make sure. Hold on before you go.
Are you
Um,
double checking?
yeah, I'm gonna check. Yeah, I'm sorry. So you got it. So go back. It's Miller underscore
Oh,
C72.
oh, okay. Hold on. Never mind.
Miller underscore C72. Lowercase C 72.
Got it. Okay. So
Okay.
follow her there, please.
Yeah, please do. I welcome your follows and opinions, and I love my girl
Oh,
Stacy,
thank
and
you.
I'm so proud of you. You beautiful
Yeah.
milk chocolate, beautiful natural hair goddess. I love you, and that green looks good on you as well.
Yeah.
And
I wear black so much. I try to I try to.
that green is popping.
Thank you.
And let me tell you what else. Orange. Where's my nails? Where's my phone? There we go.
Okay.
Pop, pop,
Oh,
pop. The orange.
yeah, you know what? I usually do bright colors because I think they complement my complexion more. But
Absolutely.
since it's winter, they told me, all right, now you need to do something different. All right.
Hold
So,
up.
oh, there she is. She's
My
on.
nail. I went
Well,
my
hold
nail
on.
tech
Pink is
yesterday.
on now. Do you want me
Yeah,
to, Pink, would you
yeah,
join?
yeah. See if she's
Just
on. But look,
real quick, because I want to wrap up in like 5 minutes.
yeah,
I'm gonna add
add
you.
her.
Um,
But
because
but
yeah.
Stacy, my text, she was like, "You want a fall orange or you want a bright orange?" I said, "I want a bright orange."
Listen, they get mad at me because I only want to wear colors like that, but
Yeah, I
whatever.
be wanting bright
Yeah,
shit. Nah,
me
don't
too. Me too.
be
Um,
turning me down.
not hopefully she'll still come
Come
on.
on, Pink. Come on, Pink.
Yeah.
Because I had texted her while we was
Uh,
on the phone.
okay. Yeah, we were talking about this topic is forgiveness, and we were discussing loyalty. She had invoked your name and said, you are a loyal friend and that you value,
Loyalty.
loyalty and
Loyal.
what loyalty means to you. So Party, you should join. Want to join me?
You got time, boo? You got time for her to join?
Um, you can find them on YouTube. I'll DM you the I'll DM you the link. But is your husband's name is Ron, right? Wait,
Who,
did she just say
me?
she wasn't joining again? I think she
Who,
wasn't.
me?
Yeah.
No, my husband's name is Jamie.
Okay. Okay.
Is Pink joining?
Yeah, I'm adding her right now. Party, you want to join and talk about forgiveness? Hmm?
Hey y'all.
Is this my boo?
Yes.
I,
No.
I I'm not gonna be on camera. I just got out the shower. I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was just
No,
listening.
no, boo.
Well,
Hey,
wait a
boo.
minute. I hope you know.
She good. She good. Hey,
Okay.
boo. Hey, boo. Hey, Pink.
Yeah.
I was telling her how you feel about
Okay.
loyalty, but what were we
So
talking about? You gotta remember.
the context of this discussion was forgiveness and forgiveness, like apologizing
Oh
and
man.
grudge holding and I guess where you fall on the spectrum. I don't think there's any one way that people respond across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody, that I used to go to school with told me he's a number one grudge holder, and I know other people who are that way, and I'm always perplexed when people tell me they hold grudges, because I'm like, what do you get out of doing that?
Right.
Like, I understand that people can really do you dirty and piss you off, and some things are unforgivable. I
Mm-hmm.
understand. But like, if it's really not that serious, you just gonna be mad at
Right.
everybody. You just cutting
Right.
everybody off. You know how at the end of the year,
Yeah.
people always talk about cutting everybody off. Well, do you have any more friends? Because you done cut everybody
Right.
off. Like, can nobody get a pass? Can nobody, is no relationship worth repairing when it goes awry?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, do you expect to be forgiven for things that you might do to people? And are you willing to extend that same grace, or are you kind of cut and dry across the board? Not you. I'm saying that was the context of the conversation.
Right.
Um, Sharon mentioned your name when we were talking about um, grudges, because she
Mm-hmm.
said you are very loyal. You are a loyal friend,
Mm-hmm.
and that you. But if you have a beef with somebody,
Uh-huh.
that your expectation is that your good friends will also, take on board that beef.
Oh yeah, I need to explain that.
Okay, so I said, well, wait a minute now. If you invoking people's
Yeah.
name, then you have to let them be able to defend themselves.
Yeah,
So,
I
because
had to hold up, Pink. I had to let her know because she was like, "Would Pink be okay with you mentioning
but
her
she
name?"
mentioned your name, like she
Yeah,
was talking
and I
about,
said, "Yes, she
yeah.
yeah,
would. She would."
yeah, for
All right,
sure.
so go ahead.
So my thing on loyalty, I feel like it takes a long time for me to let people into my fold, right?
Mm.
Once people are there, I feel like what I give, like I should receive. I feel like,
Uh oh, I don't know what happened.
I know
You're
I can't hear her. What
can you hear
happened?
me now?
Now
Sorry,
we
my
can.
phone.
yeah, we can hear
Okay.
you now.
Sorry, my phone was ringing. I feel like I just feel like what I give, I should receive. So if I'm not doing you dirty in any way, I don't care how big, how small, I just don't understand why you do me like that, right? Now, my thing on friendships, my friendships taking on my beefs. If somebody, for lack of a situation, if somebody stepped on my toe and I'm carrying that beef, no, I don't expect my friends to carry on that beef.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody stabbed my mother, I expect my friends to carry that beef.
Yes. Well, that's what I said earlier. I agree with that.
Yes,
I think there's scenarios in which it's appropriate for me not to
absolutely.
mess with the person that did you dirty.
One
But
one
if
hundred
it's
percent.
but if it's, if it's something that it's kind of like, you could be wrong.
Right.
You're
Right.
my
Right.
you're my
But
girl.
you
But
overreacting or something like
yeah,
that.
then I
Absolutely.
might be like, well, you know what I mean? I
Right.
don't.
Absolutely. But if
Yeah.
you did something that's unforgivable, that's something that's so disloyal and so hurtful to a person that gave you nothing but love, I think my friend should take on that. Absolutely do.
I'm not mad at that. But again, it depends on what I think it depends on what the other person did. Now, mind you, like my priority is always going to be the person that I consider my close, genuine friend.
Right.
The other person could be an associate, they could be an acquaintance.
Right.
It's even somebody I would consider a friend, but not in the inner circle of
Right.
friendship.
Right.
Right? So, like we were talking earlier before you got on about, like, let's say if you ran into the person, out in public, and now, y'all have, I don't know if you exchange words, but it's just a weird dynamic between y'all because you don't like each other, and I'm obviously with you. If I feel like you're wrong, I'm not going to address that in
That
public.
moment
I'm going to
in
address
front of
it
the
with
person
Right.
you.
privately.
Later.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean,
Yep.
you know what? Like, I hear you, but did you think about it like, this?
Right.
And maybe it'll change your mind and maybe it
Right.
won't. But, at the end of the day, I care about
Your loyalty
my,
is with your friend.
yeah, my loyalty is with my friend. But if I think that you're wrong, I'm going to tell you in a loving way.
Right.
Or
In
I
a
think that
loving
maybe
way, separately.
I
Right.
think if you're being, maybe if you're being unreasonable.
Yeah. And I think me and Sharon especially, I think we do that with each other. We would definitely tell each other, hey, you know what, you overreacting. No, you wrong. Those
Mm-hmm.
situations. But what my issues come in with my friendships is that they know somebody has done me a certain way, and they continue to befriend this person or continue to go out their way to interact with this person, knowing me and this person is not getting along. You know what I mean? Or this person did whatever to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because my
Yeah.
thing is, if Sharon does something to somebody that's my friend, yeah, I'm gonna still talk to her. I'm like, yo, you was wrong. Y'all need to squash you. You did whatever.
Right.
But if somebody did something to Sharon and that shit was totally wrong, that person got a problem with me now. I'm good on you. I will be cordial with you, but I don't have to go out my way. I don't have to speak to you. I don't have to be around you because I'm gonna respect my friend.
Yeah,
And let me
no.
say this. Let me say this. Let me interject.
Mm-hmm.
There have been situations, Stacey, when I was fucking dead wrong. Like I was wrong in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
And Pink, as one of my closest friends, out of loyalty to me, she has told that person, like, I was wrong, but it might have been that I was inebriated and I was just speaking out of turn or whatever. So she'll defend me and say, Sharon not like that. She just really was, she probably was tipsy, such and such.
Right.
So she'll defend me out of
Right.
loyalty to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No,
And
no.
that person to be like, well, how can you be friends like that? And the reason why Pink is my girl is because she will defend me even when I'm fucking wrong and say she ain't mean it like that. She did such and such, blah blah blah. You know what I
that
mean?
that
And
is
she had
that is
sacrificed
that
some
is
people.
loyalty
That's
for sure.
loyalty.
Yeah.
She sacrificed some people that
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
he was friends with or was friends to her, and then they got mad with her, like, how could you be friends with her? She did blah blah blah.
And,
And she
and
defended me.
Sharon was wrong as
Wrong
hell.
wrong as hell, but she defended me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, well, like I said, my thing was really quickly, and then I'm gonna wrap up. But I was saying, again, I feel like I don't think there's any one way across the board, and not because I'm disloyal. It's because to me, I feel like for me to say I'm not gonna speak to somebody, or I'm not gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna use myself as an example, right? Because something happened to me a couple years ago where I'm like, how much of this do I want to say? I'm trying to find a way to say it without saying too much. Something
I've been saying too much all night.
something somebody said something about me to some, like, other people that I'm acquainted with, right? Um and somebody in that group of people that I'm acquainted with then had a conversation with somebody that I consider like a closer friend. And I only heard about it because that person then told somebody else that I'm close with, and who came back to me like, you need to say something. They told the other girl, that I'm friends with, you need to say something. And if you don't, I'm going to say something. And so, it was like whispered down the lane, but eventually it got back to me. And I was like, and I was bothered because I felt like the other person that I considered a friend, um, I don't know exactly what they said in the context of the conversation when it was first communicated to them. But I'm like, to me, I was like, your loyalty should have been to me. And that really bothered me. Now, they had apologized, and I felt a way about that for a while, but they were very apologetic. And so I'm like, every once in a while I think about it, but I'm like, well, you know what? I consider you a friend. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but like,
And that's why, Pink is the love of my life. She's my bestie, sister friend for life.
yeah.
Because as we both said, and even as I admitted and took accountability for, I was wrong in that situation. And she stood 10 toes down for me and still forgave me. She could have
And what
fucking
she
cut me off.
wait a minute, what
She
she
could have
did,
fucking cut me off and said, damn, that bitch threw me under the bus. She blah blah blah.
and she
But because she
so
knew
what she did wrong, Stacey, she threw me under the bus to somebody else. And everybody was mad at me because Sharon kind of did me dirty. But I stood down for her because I was like, that's my friend, so I'm gonna deal with her offline. I'm not gonna deal with her with these people that don't know us. So I was like, yeah, she was wrong for that, but I'm gonna deal with her on this side.
how
You know what I
many
mean?
people, how many women that that would do that?
Not many.
Not many.
But this
She
is
could
my
have
thing
cut me
with my
off, and
friendships,
if
and
she
this is
would have
how I
cut
mean
me off,
about.
what could I say if she would have cut me off? Because I was fucking wrong.
But
But
I feel
she
like with
fucking
me and how loyal I am, that's how I do with my friendships. But I often feel like it's not done, it's not reciprocated
in
on my end.
return.
Nobody is standing 10 toes down for me in a room when I'm not there.
Exactly. In return. In return. And I didn't get into the specifics of that thing
No, yeah,
tonight.
no,
But
no,
you
I'm not.
know I know what you're
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. You know
But
what I
yeah,
mean? We
my
didn't
thing
get
is
into
protecting
specifics
me
of
when I'm
that.
not in the room. Protect me
Exactly.
when I'm
That
not in the room.
I think that is the responsibility of your close friends. It doesn't matter, like, again, it doesn't matter, like you said, it doesn't matter whether or not your close friend, may be, somewhat in the wrong or in the wrong in a situation. Like, that's who your primary loyalty is to. So you're right. Um, and yes, you should feel like, you get that same um in return. So yeah.
Pink, thank you for joining, because I wanted
Yes,
to,
thank you.
you gave us a great example of forgiveness. And that's the topic for tonight.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so
yeah.
for the little wrap up remarks.
I was getting out the shower like, what?
Yes. So I'm like, I didn't know if you were gonna join or not, because I just, randomly sent you the request, but I'm like, I don't want her to, think we were just on here talking about her. And
Oh,
And you didn't have a chance to speak for yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, again, whatever, the same thing that you said is what she said about you. So it
Exactly.
wasn't like she was talking shit. I mean,
yeah.
So anyway,
Didn't I?
All right,
That's
y'all.
I'm very transparent. And I told you.
yeah, she
I was like,
is.
yeah, call her. She ain't nothing. She gonna, you know what I mean? She gonna agree with me. Cause I'm honest. That's why they love me. Cause I'm gonna keep it real, even when I fuck up. You know what I mean?
Well, thank
All
you, Paige
right,
and
y'all.
Sharon, for joining me this evening. I'm gonna say my final remarks. So, I don't want to see now. I know how to remove people, but I still prefer people to see themselves out.
You
So
want
that's you too.
what? You want us to do what?
No, I was saying, I now I do know how to remove people
Oh,
from
okay.
video,
Okay.
but I like for them to see themselves out. So thank you
I
for
don't know how to
joining
do
me.
that. All right. Well,
Just hit the X.
hit the
Just
what?
just hit the X,
Okay.
or else
Bye, baby.
I'm
Thank
gonna get
you.
to practice.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Bye. Um. So, all right. Thank y'all. I know it's lasted much longer than I expected it to, but thanks for hanging out on this Wednesday evening. Appreciate your input and your insight. Don't be out here holding grudges. I see somebody on this line I know like to hold grudges, but I'm not gonna call him out. Um anyway, yeah. So Paul, if you're still on here, I was asked when Hip Hop Jeopardy is coming back. So we gotta see if we can make that happen in the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, I will see y'all next Wednesday, and I'm out. Have a good night. Peace.